Ballads and Tales, Journey of the Brave is a 1 to 5 player dungeon crawler with multiple game modes including solo, co-op, and players versus dungeon master styles of gameplay. The crowdfund is going on now, and the link to the crowdfund is in the description below. Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is Ash Quest, and this is why I am backing Ballads and Tales. Atmospheric dungeon crawling board game for 1 to 5 players is just about enough to hook me into any project and get me reading the finer details of what's going on. And to get me to further raise my eyebrows, just include combat dice and modular dungeon grid-based tiles. And not just dungeon, we've got some outdoor stuff here. It's going to be a little bit grainy, but we'll zoom in to check out some of these materials and assets. Next, to really seal the deal, just tell me that there's 3D elements to the game. Stuff like walls, trees, doors, fences, magical effects, ladders, and windows. 300 tokens, although it does look like a lot of these tokens are actually tiles that go onto the board that represent things such as treasure chests, levers, various traps, and other effects. I see you, rat. I see you. And 600 cards. Again, we're going to see a lot of JPEG artifacting here because I'm so zoomed in. But let's read a little bit about this instead of just letting me do all of the explaining. Travel mode is part of the core box. In this mode, heroes travel all over the Duchy of Wenheim, across the included map in the style of a sandbox world. Their goal is to enter 6 antique dungeons and to activate the artifacts hidden within. This is very much like my personal quest that I go on every couple of weeks to enter antique dungeons and activate the artifacts hidden within, otherwise known as going to thrift stores. Anyway, 12 additional adventures are randomly generated. The included travel cards influence the hero's journey with many random events, like a bounty has been posted on the heads of a dangerous boss monster, a quarantine prevents you from accessing a specific village, homunculi occupy all bridges and keep you from traveling onwards. At the same time, heroes will need to keep an eye on the weight of their luggage and eat regularly so they don't start their next adventure in a weakened state. To increase their maximum load, heroes can buy a donkey. So I do want to cut away here and talk about the presentation of this campaign. The pacing and the details are kind of all over the place, and it wasn't really evident to me at first glance or at second or third glance that this would be for me. I really had to do some digging here and kind of reorder my brain to really look into how all of this was put together to see if it was the right game. And truly, I'll never know if the game is right until I actually sit down and play it and understand the feel and the flow of it. Even having access to a rulebook ahead of time doesn't exactly give me what I'll experience once I get my party of adventurers together at my table and actually play. But that's really what the presentation of these details is all about. It's trying to get the information together to see if this would be a hit, either if I play it solo or if I get my folks together. I want to talk very quickly about the art. The art style looks so similar to so many things that I have seen that are AI generated. However, I think that this is genuinely a case where the artist actually has a style that has been emulated so much by generative AI technologies that it would be a case of mistaken identity to assign these as AI generative works. I think these are legitimate paintings, and I think that because I've looked very closely at every piece of art that I could see, because I'm very leery and very wary of supporting anything that uses AI generative art. The creator of this game celebrates the work of the traditional artist Falbona Atanaskowska, or Bona, who earned a degree from the Art Academy of Skopje in North Macedonia in 1997. They've painted all of these characters in oil on canvas. And in addition, she has produced oil paintings of the different cover designs as well as all objects on the cards. And there is an incredible amount, just a vast amount of artwork, more artwork than one person really seems to be able to reasonably produce. I'm going to speak to my fellow wary AI unenjoyers and say, I think this is real. I think all of this is real. I believe it, and I'm going to back it with that belief in mind. And that's to say nothing of the actual answer in the FAQ regarding the question of whether there are AI works included. There is the claim right here, point blank, there are no AI works. Back to the description of this particular game system. Time to reach the destination is running out. It goes by with the phases of the moon, which influence the travel cards in turn. The dreaded werewolf reaches its maximum strength at full moon. Merchants close shop at night, and after each moon phase that goes by, the population of roving monsters has recovered. Additionally, the cycle of day and night impacts travel speed. So the rulebook is actually downloadable. You can go access that right now on the campaign page in English or in German. And there are a ton of really cool add-ons, the environmental tokens, Wait a minute, that's digital. Go past the digital stuff, Ash. The dice set, an additional set of combat and defense dice for easier gaming. All prices shown are in euros, by the way. That converts pretty easily to USD. It's not quite 1-to-1, but it's very close. Kickstarter posits that the core box, which is 65 euros, is about $69 USD, so nice. Printed art book is an optional add-on, being a VIP so that you can get your name printed in the adventure book. A lot of the adventure books for this campaign, by the way, are digital. I'm going to support this. I definitely want everything to be physical, so these will all be things that I get as add-ons, physical editions of adventure books. But the adventure books aren't the only things that come with these different sort of modules. You get new cards as well, key and adventure cards, they call these. There are a total of 3 adventure books and 1 campaign book. You can actually get original paintings from the artist. There are normal characters and there are characters from an additional work called Beauties of Ballads and Tales, which is also available as an optional art book for this campaign. The Beauties of Ballads and Tales features some characters nude, just as a warning. So what all comes with this? A ton of cards, tiles, boards, standees, not miniatures. And this is probably information I should have led with because a lot of people will think that the standees are just a no-go. That's a deal breaker for a lot of folks. But the reason that I'd actually like to back this despite not liking standees, despite not being an enjoyer of standees, I think that standees really take away from my experience and everybody's going to be different in that regard. These particular standees aren't cutouts of characters. They are characters that are shown in an environment and they're presented more like cards that kind of travel across the board on stands. And I think that that is really cool. That actually presents the usage of standees in a unique way that I never really considered before because I don't ever see standees presented in this way, this light. There are 15 heroes. There are a ton of different monsters of various different sizes. And when you couple the artwork of what's on the standees with the board and just the overall feel of everything else design-wise, it really seems like a story is being told. And that's a pretty unique kind of way to present this. It really kind of seems like the story is the objective. It is of the utmost importance here. There are game mechanics, and they are fairly simple. You've got different colors of combat dice, and each character is going to have different specialties, and each of these specialties will allow them to attack with different kinds of combat dice. You'll be rewarded for playing to your character's strengths. Obviously, a barbarian going into a room full of enemies and attacking with physical attacks versus ranged or magic outside is going to be able to do a lot more damage. I'm not saying that there is a barbarian class necessarily in this game, but it's the same concept. There are lots of wooden cubes to keep track of things, and the information on the cards for monsters and heroes is all really well laid out. The idea that there is a travel mode wherein the things that happen in between the dungeons is important is very intriguing to me. This is a couple of shots of the board game in action. The modular tiles have been placed together, presumably due to the composition in an image in an adventure book. Portrait of your character on your card. All of the usable equipment highlighted here, which I thought was a really nice touch. It leaves no question as to what your character will and will not be able to equip in terms of weapons and armor, and your profile scores. Some of these are represented in numbers, some of them are represented by colored cubes. You'll have an ability card, and then your various tools, weapons, and such will have the same kind of information on them. So I don't even have to really read the rules to be able to see that this dwarf character is able to equip axes, swords, daggers, great swords, crossbows, shields, helmets, just a full complement of armor. We'll roll 1 yellow die for attacking with a melee weapon, a blue die for attacking with ranged, cannot cast with any sort of magic. Wait a minute. I guess I'm not sure what the yellow hexagon symbol means. There is a green cube in the purple hex symbol with the book. This might be magic. I don't know yet. Has a score of 3 next to the boots, so I'm probably going to move him 3 tiles, and has 9 heart, and doubtless that is the amount of health or wounds or hit points he has. The category of the weapon, according to its card, is axe. It is a melee weapon. It uses 1 green combat dice that will be added onto the melee combat die that you are using with your character by default. The handling is one-handed. It's a one-handed weapon. The weapon range is 1 space. It's got a purchasing price, a name, a turn bonus. 1 yellow combat die in the dwarf's dice pool for his normal profile score, 1 green combat die from the axe, an additional yellow die due to the turn bonus, also in the creature's turn due to the ability card, and 1 white defense die from his heater shield. So there you go. You just put together your dice pool, and now this character has these dice right now. This is this character's loadout. It's nice. It's clean. Combat engagement details are listed below, and there are YouTube playthroughs from the Dungeon Dive, Unfiltered Gamer, Vorfelpunk, and Brettspiel, and Deludic. Stretch goals include an upgraded core box, Kickstarter exclusive new companions and new creatures, Kickstarter exclusive new heroes and creatures. Looks like another upgraded core box at 50,000 euros with 1 new fairy, 2 new creatures, and 4 new cards, and it just goes on. I want to talk about the different tiers available. We've got the €1 pledge amount that just supports the work, the visitor pledge amount that grants you access to the pledge manager after the campaign, the core box, which is €65, 69 USD, the adventure pack, which is €80 or 85 USD. That's a copy of the Brave core box and all unlocked stretch goals, as well as the digital adventure books, basically all of your expansions. The adventure pack has the printed adventure books, and this is really the VIP. This is really the standard for me because I don't want anything digital. I'm never going to use anything digital when I'm playing my board games. I'm going to be using physical components, but you'll get digital copies of all this stuff anyway. This is €129, about 136 USD. The Legendary Hero Pack is €130, actually comes with the Creator add-on, which is create your own adventure. You get 1 key object and a drawing. I actually am backing this particular one until I can get a little bit more money to upgrade my pledge to the Legendary Hero to get the printed adventure books. I want to make sure I lock in and get this Creator one because I would really love to submit my own adventure for this game. Although sadly, the community adventure book is digital, they did talk about making this its own separate Kickstarter later. I think just a couple minutes ago, I was saying that the adventure pack with printed adventure books was the one that I would be going with. Kind of overlooked the fact that going with the Legendary Hero Pack in order to submit my own adventure overrode my desire to have printed adventure books. I'm going to have to arrange my add-ons appropriately to get that. But anyways, as of today, this has 23 days to go. And as of the time this video is uploaded, it will have 22 days. I'm going to upload this tomorrow. So you've got plenty of time, got about 3 weeks to check this out, look at the gameplay videos, download the rulebook, and see if Ballads and Tales tickles that same fancy for you as it does for me so far. The creators are very responsive on various social media, Facebook, and there have been a ton of updates for this campaign. And actually, they have added pledges since I came in here to check this out and initially pledged. So the printed adventure books are something that the community requested of them, and they responded to that. So the Beauties of Ballads and Tales, which has all of the nude art of the characters for people that appreciate that sort of thing, also is a result of a lot of people requesting it to be added, at least as an optional add-on in the form of an art book. So at this time, they've received 20,000 USD out of a 23,000 USD goal. Those numbers would be a lot more rounded off if we're talking about euros. I'm pretty sure it's, oh yeah, there we go. It's a 22,000 euro goal, and they have 19,000 euros. I hope that this video can kind of sway some folks who might be on the fence, or at least encourage you to go check it out and see what you think from there. But hey, Benjamin and Kirsten Brinkman, if you'd like to send out one more of those prototype copies, I'm more than happy to show these components off in full detail, as if it hasn't been done 5 times already. That's it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation for what it is, and please comment down below anything you'd like. What did you think about this? Are you likely to get something like this? Is this the sort of thing you'd like to see from Kickstarter campaigns? Do you wish there was less face in the video? Perhaps a little less voice? You'll have to let me know. I don't know what the appropriate ratio of face and voice to video is. What about hands? Should there be less hands? Should there be more hands? Let me know. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye for now.